Hey friends, welcome. May 27th, 2025. What if Jesus didn't just come 2,000 years ago, but returned today, walking the streets of your city? What if he moved quietly, without crowds or cameras, showing up in the noise, in the pain, in the overlooked corners? That's what we're imagining in this series. Real places, real time, real people. A new city every day this year. And our Jesus, not in robes, but in sneakers, jeans, and a hoodie. Today is May 27th, and Jesus is in Paterson, New Jersey, a city built on innovation, scarred by hardship, but alive with untapped hope. This is His day. Join me as we walk with Jesus. At 6:07 a.m., Jesus walks through the misty quiet of Mary Ellen Kramer Park, the eastern edge of Paterson's Great Falls. The sun rises like fire behind the smokestacks and steeples. Fog curls through the iron fencing along the cliffs, and the sound of the falls is thunderous, a reminder of God's wild, uncontainable power. Jesus finds a bench facing the water and kneels in prayer. Abba, I feel the ache here. I feel the silence beneath the noise. Let me be light in the hidden places. Let them know you're not far. Behind him, the bronze statue of Alexander Hamilton stands cold and still. But Jesus, the living Word, is flesh and warmth and presence. A sanitation worker sweeping the walkway pauses, moved by the sight. Are you praying for us? Jesus stands, touches the man's shoulder, and says, always. By 9:12 a.m., Jesus walks through the buzzing halls of the JFK Educational Complex. Metal detectors, security guards, and the weight of generational trauma fill the air. Yet, amid all of it, there's also courage. Kids showing up, teachers staying late, hearts not giving up. Inside room 203, Miss Alvarez is leading a poetry discussion when Jesus quietly takes a seat in the back. No one knows who he is until he speaks. Selena, a quiet junior who usually keeps her hood up and eyes down, shares a piece she's wrote called I'm Not the Statistics. When the class falls silent, Jesus speaks. May I speak? Miss Alvarez, unsure, nods. Jesus stands slowly and says to Selena, this city told you you'd be broken, but your words, they carry fire. You are not invisible. You are an echo of heaven. Tears stream silently down her cheeks. Another student mutters under his breath, man, who is that? And somehow, even Miss Alvarez can't answer. By 12:41 p.m., Jesus is pulling on latex gloves inside the Evas Village community kitchen on Main Street. The line outside is long. The people are hungry, not just for food, but for kindness. Jesus smiles and hands a tray of rice and chicken to an older man named Eduardo, who stares at him like he's seen him before. "You remind me of a painting in my mother's Bible," Eduardo says. Jesus chuckles. She must have had good taste. Later, he kneels beside a woman named Tasha, who's been silent all day. "Lost someone?" he asks gently. "My son," she chokes out. "2 years ago, shot by someone he used to call his friend." Jesus doesn't offer cliches. He simply opens his arms, and she falls into them, sobbing. The entire kitchen stills. Someone whispers, "This is holy ground." At St. Joseph's Medical Center, Jesus visits the NICU, the oncology ward, and even the emergency psych unit. In one room, he meets Maya, age 9, battling leukemia. Her tiny hands are taped with IVs, and her voice is thin. "Are you an angel?" she asks. "No," Jesus says, sitting beside her, "but I know them well." "Will I get better?" she asks. He takes her hand, and though he doesn't promise a miracle, he says, "Even in sickness, you shine, and I'm right here with you." Later, in the psych ward, he meets Dante, a former athlete now lost in voices, rage, and regret. Dante screams as Jesus walks in, but instead of recoiling, Jesus sits cross-legged on the floor. Eventually, Dante stops. "You're not afraid of me." "No," Jesus says, "you've fought too long alone, but not anymore." As the golden light stretches across 21st Avenue, Jesus approaches a corner known for dealing, drama, and despair. A group of young men sit on crates, blasting music from a Bluetooth speaker. Ray, the ringleader, eyes him warily. "You lost?" "No," Jesus says, smiling. "I came for you." Ray laughs. "For me? Man, I ain't nobody's hero." Jesus points to the graffiti behind him. "We bleed so they forget we cry." "You wrote that." Ray nods slowly. "You've got a prophet's heart," Jesus says, "but the enemy's been feeding you lies. You were made to speak life, not death." Ray stares. His chest rises and falls like he's holding something in, something sacred and scared. "I saw my brother die," he says quietly. "I didn't do anything." Jesus puts a hand on his shoulder. "That guilt isn't yours to carry. Lay it down." Ray closes his eyes. One tear falls. Just one. But it's the start of something. At Garret Mountain, with the lights of Paterson shimmering below, the day has come to an end, and Jesus stands beneath the old tower ruins. The wind pulls at his jacket. He whispers into the darkness, "Father, the city cries beneath its surface. Let the churches awake. Let the mothers be comforted. Let the sons find purpose again. Let love rise on broken streets." He watches as a single light flickers on in a window down below. Then another, then another. Amen. So today, Jesus didn't hold a press conference. He didn't stand on a stage, and he didn't perform signs for applause. But he healed the hurting. He listened to the voiceless, and he reminded the forgotten that they were seen. And in Paterson, New Jersey today, he walked among them. Tomorrow, he walks into another city, another soul. Will he find you there? And will you be ready? Because love still walks, and he is not finished yet. Now, before you leave today, I'd like to say a prayer for everything you are holding in your heart on this day. Are you ready? I'll lead. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Well, if you are not a subscriber to this channel, what are you waiting for? Before you forget, click the subscribe button so that you can join us and become a permanent member of our community. As always, I want to remind you, hug your family, because they love you. And I promise I'll be back tomorrow as we continue our journey. God bless you, my friends.